Hello ladies and gents, Budboo.com here are the Pulse as normally at the mic, and today I would like to present to you Clash of Formats that's Blue-Green Madness from Extended Terra based around Odyssey block, the deck that has been featured in our videos before that, and at the bottom it's me piloting Abzan company, the Melira combo deck from Modern, and see how that fares. He starts first. We've forced into Baskin Rootvala, that's the 1/1 for 1 with Madness 0, and for 2 mana once a turn it palms for +2/+2. I followed up with the forced into Noble, fine stuff for me as well. He goes to into attack, definitely did not block, and I assume he pumped the Rootvala, so I took in 3 damage. I don't really like the plays like that, but he normally does it. He wants to go aggro for berserk mode, and I don't think it's a great strategy. He would rather expand the board and play more creatures. My turn 2 was fantastic. Turn 2 kitchen things, close to combo, good blocker, etc. But his build has not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of Wonder, and sometimes he even sides in the 4th one. So ground creatures are not really a big obstacle for him, that's for sure. So his 3rd land is Yellowmakers, that's a green-blue pain land. His version of Madness is not even standard, not legacy, but extended. Meaning that he's somewhere in between. He has Daze and Counterspell, but he doesn't have Force of Will, because Force of Will was not an extended at that time, when this deck was played in extended. So it's not quite legacy, but very close, but still kinda slow, because back then creatures were less powerful, even though spells were pretty good. So he has some counter spells main deck, Circle Logic, that's the 3 mana and Madness for 1 counter spell, and Dazes, as I said, that's the 4 spike which you can play for free by bouncing an island. So he has few counter spells and more actual counter spell cards in the sideboard. 4 mana, just hard casting Wonder, which is a good sign for me, technically, because that just took his entire turn. He couldn't attack and everything. The Wonder is the 2/2 flyer that when it's in graveyard and he has an island, his whole team has flying. My response was end of turn Coco into Bird and Melira. So I'm 1 piece away from combo, which is pretty scary, and of course a single daze would ruin my day there, because I would have been unable to pay 1 extra mana to get company resolve. Company main phase, while he stepped out, his only out is still daze. Daze would still be pretty good here again, but I assume he would have countered the first company if he had it. Really tapping out like that was pretty bad for him. I flipped a Wall of Fruits, that's a 0/5 defender in unoffensive Counter Spirit, and then I just cast Chord of Calling to get Viscercer to go for the combo, so infinite life, and hard win next turn. And yeah, he's supposed to pack it all in, because yeah, that's kind of a overwhelming, almost flawless victory with very little interaction, sadly. But out of the sideboard, actually this matchup becomes much better, because we were short on time. We didn't have I think post-board games, but out of sideboard, even from that extended version which was played years ago, he still has submerges. That's basically better than unsummon, and you can cast it for free. If I have a forest, I believe, and he has an island, he can bounce a creature on top of my deck, not just to my hand, but on top of my deck. At some point he had unsummons in the sideboard, which are also decent in this deck for tempo. And then he would have Stop, Find, Touch, the card that has been reprinted, I think, or it was an Eternal Master, so I don't remember, but that card originally from Odyssey Block, it's 2 mana blue aura. Basically, that's a creature you enchant, can't use activated abilities, and you draw a card, so it cycles. And it's pretty good in this matchup, I think, because while I can play around some Graveyard Hate, for example, with Spike Feeder and Archangel of Foon, but I cannot really beat Subfine Touch at the right moment, backed by tempo and flyers and counter spells. So that's a thing. Then I have been trying to convince him to put Hibernation into the sideboard, because we often play just these kind of friendly matches um, with our decks, so we don't have a big spectrum, and normally I play some combo-ish creature decks with a lot of green creatures in them, so Hibernation will be cool. It's a 3 mana blue sorcery, I believe, that bounces all the green creatures back to hand. Don't remember exactly whether it's one-sided or not, but it's still spectacular in this matchup. It's like casting Harkill's Recall against Affinity, and yes, this is a Skype call. Make sure to check in the previous video our match between Abzan Company and Naya Cats. Things were not going as expected in that match, but still overall it was a nice fun battle, and I explained a lot of angles and cases for play decisions for both of those decks, and how you should build that, and how you should play in particular situations. Okay, he starts off with just an island and passes, no careful study. I go with tapped Overgrown Sim, that's a black-green shockland, and no turn 1 play, which is kind of annoying. I really need mana dorks early so that I can keep up with his tempo. But it's not like he always gets a nut start, so sometimes his draws are pretty slow as well. He has 8/1 drops and quite a few 2-drops. So for him not to do much in early turns seems kinda unrealistic and very weird. So here is a Wild Mongrel, a card that has been not quite reprinted, but it had a lot of very similar cards printed in the late sets, including Eldritch Moon. There is a green snake with same cost, also 2/2. It grows for this card, but it has reach. And Wild Mongrel, his second ability is that it can change color every time you discard a card for it. So it can't then be killed by removal spells which say destroy target non-black creature. My turn 2 was pretty good, even though I took 2 damage from a Shockland, from a Shrine. But I cast Wellfruits, although it got dazed, but normally I wouldn't feel so bad with him countering my wall, but my hand was kinda heavy, and I think I was actually stuck in 2 lands, so that really hurt me. I wasn't really expecting daze there. Well, at least I wasn't hoping that he would have a daze. So he replayed the island. He lost some of the tempo, but while he didn't really know, he kind of slowed me down way more than he slowed down himself. So he goes for Quiet Speculation. That's the 2 mana spell that searches up 3 flashback cards and puts them into your graveyard. Normally what he does is that you just bin a couple of Roar of the Worm and the Deep Analysis. So the first one, flashback for 4, you get a 6/6 token into play, and the other one is 2 mana, pay 3 life, and you draw 2 cards. He goes this time for actually just 1 Worm and 2 Deep Analysis, which is, I think, kind of weird. Okay, he kind of, as a joke, flashes in 2 Roar of the Worms from his hand, kind of explaining why the hell he did search for just one drawer and two deep analysis. Uh, that gave me a lot of information, but I wouldn't be able to really utilize it very well because he countered my wall. Um, and now in order to be able to cast spells next turns, I had to just cast a Noble and pass. Um, on the plus side, he seems to be struggling with Lens a little bit. Because of a daze, he cannot play, Flashback Road of the Worm on curve. But this Arrogant Worm is also fine. We have a similar creature now in Standard in red, that Vampire. Also Madness for free and a big body. That Vampire was for free, and this one is a 4/4, and it has Trample as well. I went for Kitchen Things to try to kind of go close to the combo and try to stabilize a little bit. And I don't really have any intention to block because what I have to pray is that he doesn't have counter spells or any bounce or anything like that. And my only hope is to try to go for the fast combo because I'm losing the damage race for sure. And in this game I really wanted for him to have no interaction. He decides just to attack with Arrogant Worm, which I'm not sure is correct. I think I would have attacked with both, because I'm still stacked on 2 lands. Yeah, so I took that damage from the Worm, and then he flashbacks Deep Analysis, loses 3 life off of that, draws land number 4. But I guess that he doesn't have any other plays this turn. So he taps correctly, trying to represent at least some counterspell. I'm hoping to resolve an Offensa, Counter Spirit, so that I would be just Viscerser away from the combo, and it's resolved. Would he have Circle Logic here, I would be in a pretty bad shape actually, because then I would be quite far away from the combo, and then 6/6 Worms would kill me pretty fast. He goes and flashbacks another Deep Analysis, which is I think a right play here. It was pretty sad that he had to do that last turn, but now because I'm 1 piece away from combo, he's in a desperation mode. He really needs to dig for some counter spells. And normal counterspell won't do it because he would have only 1 blue mana, so it would have to be Circle Logic, because I likely will be able to pay 1 for the days. Even though if I will have to tap out for Core Quelling, days will still do it, but he needs to be safe. So he attacks with both now because he really needs to try to race and win before I get to the combo. Discards Best Control for Wild Mongrel to pump it. I believe I take all the damage here. Wait. I had an offense in play, so I blocked, I believe, Wild Mongrel? No, or... yeah. No, he had too many cards in hand. I blocked Arrogant Worm, I think, because I don't see him discarding full Wild Mongrel, but I think I should have blocked the Hound, actually, to force him to discard more cards, because Arrogant Worm has Trample, so it's actually was a bad block, I think. Anyways, I had Core Quelling, and I had 1 mana to spare so that I would be able to pay for days, and here goes with Cerecer. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe. There will be more matches like this. I think I'll try to play with some other decks against his old school extended decks. There are some more old school matches like this on the channel, so check out those in the casual playlist. And yeah, like small notifier, articles will be moving to Tumblr. I'm retiring the website this month, but everything else stays the same. Stay cool until the next sale. Goodbye, folks.